Welcome back with another video on TryHackMe.com. This is Aheen Azir and we are doing Advent of Cyber 2024. So this is day 3 video, although day 4 and 5 I think is already available. We're gonna resume our task 9, which is log analysis. Day 3, even if I wanted to go, their vulnerabilities wouldn't allow it. Okay, story. So there is already a walkthrough available on the net by this guy, but we're gonna create our own walkthrough. So today's AOC challenge follows a rather unfortunate series of events for the glitch. Here is a little passage which sets the scene for today's task. Late one Christmas evening, the glitch had a feeling something forgotten as he started at the ceiling. He got up out of the bed and decided to check a note on his wall: "Today's in snow sack." Okay, with a click and a type, he got his hotel and tickets and sank off to sleep to sounds of some crickets. Luggage in hand, he had arrived at Frosty Pines to get to the conference. Just follow the signs. Awesome. Just as he was ready, the glitch got a fright. An RCE remote code execution vulnerability on their website. He exploited it quick and made a report, but before he could send, arrived his transport. Awesome. Usually Taylor Ramsey tried to do this kind of stuff. In the Frosty Pines sock, they saw an alert. This looked quite bad. They called an expert. The requests came from a room, but they could not tell which. The log saved the day. It was the room of the glitch. Okay. So this is the graphic for today. In snow sack on now, transport available, and welcome to enjoy your stay here. Welcome to the Pines and Pinewoods and enjoy your stay. So in this task, we will cover how the SOC team and their expert were able to find out what had happened, Operation Blue, and how the glitch was able to gain access to the website in the first place, Operation Red. Let's get started, shall we? Sure. Learning objectives. Learn about log analysis and tools like ELK, Elasticsearch. We have seen that before in our previous task. Just check it out. I will put the link to day 2 up here. Learn about KQL and how it can be used to investigate logs using ELK. Learn about RCE, remote code execution, and how this can be done via insecure file upload. Connecting to the machine. Before moving forward, review the question in the connection card below. Okay. Do I need to start the attack box today? Yes. Do I need to start the VM today? Yes. So let's start our attack box. Okay. Let it run. At least we'll see that the progress bar that where we are right now. Let's start the machine as well. Okay, click on the green start machine button below to start the virtual machine. For the practical VM may take 5 minutes to become accessible. Okay, we'll wait. You will also need to start the attack box by pressing the start attack box button. We already did so at the top of the room. Alternatively, you can connect your own hacking machine by using the TryHackMe VPN. Operation Blue. In this section of the lesson, we will take a look at what tools and knowledge is required for the blue segment, and that is the investigation of the attack itself using tools which enable us to analyze the logs. For the first part of the Operation Blue, we will demonstrate how to use ELK to analyze the logs of a demonstration web app, Ware Valley Rails. So Ware Valley Rails is the web app that we need to see the logs and analyze the logs. Feel free to following along for the practice. Sure, we will do that once our machine is available. Log analysis and introducing ELK. Log analysis is crucial to blue teaming work, as you have likely discovered through this year's advent of cyber. Analyzing logs can quickly become overwhelming, especially if you have multiple devices and services. ELK or Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. So this is the Elastic Stack. If you have any background in the Kubernetes or the things, then you must have known about this. If you have any experience in the SIEM solution such as Splunk or open source like this, then you will also have experience of working with any of these tools. And also, if you have done any kind of development where you have built some kind of recommendation solution, then you must already know about the Elasticsearch here. Even if you don't know, it's okay. We'll take a look. We'll learn together. Combines data analytics and processing tools to make analyzing logs much more manageable. ELK forms a dedicated stack that can aggregate logs from multiple sources into one center place. Sure. Okay, our machine is available. Let's make it full screen in a new tab. Let me minimize this one so we'll have more real estate to work with. Okay, here we go. ELK forms a dedicated stack that can aggregate logs from multiple sources into one center place. Explaining how ELK collates or correlates and processes these logs in is out of the scope of today's task. However, if you wish to learn more about this, you can check it out, this link. Sure. We'll check this out. I think we opened this one before as well. It will take like 3 hours to complete. Sure, we'll do that. Let me refresh it to make it full screen. Awesome. Okay, go back. For now, it's important to note that multiple processes behind the scene achieve this. The first part of today's task is to investigate the attack on Frosty Pines Resorts hotel management system to see what it looks like to a blue teamer. You will then test your web app skills by recreating the attack. Okay, so in order to do that, using ELK, so this is the local URL available. So our attack box is already connected to the local network on the TryHackMe site. So the URL that we are looking for will work just fine. Okay, so if you're using your own VM, that means you need to connect with the open VPN with the configuration that they have mentioned. Just search it out. I think I have a video, maybe first or second video, where I show you how to connect with the open VPN to the TryHackMe network. Okay, so here we go. In the discover, we'll find everything. Okay, let me move back to our task here. Okay, within our attack box browser, you will greet it with the ELK homepage. Yes. For today's task, we will use Kibana Discover interface to review Apache 2 logs. To access this, simply click on the 3 lines located at the top left of the page to open the side out tray. Under the analytics heading, click the Discover. Yeah, we already done so. This one. We'll need to select the collection that is relevant to us. Okay. So collection is Wear Valley Rails. So we selected it already. I don't see any logs because we mentioned it to show the logs for last 15 minutes. So we're gonna change the dates here. Okay. Let's continue. We have done so. Once you have done this, you will be greeted with a screen saying no result match your search criteria. This is because no logs have been ingested within the last 15 minutes. Yeah. Do not panic. We will discuss how to change this shortly. We are not panicking. To change the date and time, click the text located on the right side of the box that has calendar icon. Select absolute from the drop down where you can now select the start date and time. Next, click on the text on the right side of the arrow 2 and repeat the process for the end date and time. So we are looking for the where valid rails collection. We will need to set the start time to be October 1st 2024 to October 1st 23 and 30. Okay, so let's do that. So absolute, we are going to October 1st. Let's go with 00, and instead of now, let's go to the absolute October 1st and the last value that is available at 2330. Update. So here we have 811 hits. Now that you can see some entries, let's go over the basics of the Kibana. Discover UI, we have search, we have collection, we have fields that are available, we have number of hits here, we have the actual data, and then we can use the KQL to search or further enhance the logs. Okay. So first one was search bar. Here we can place our search queries using KQL. So KQL is Costro query language in the context of Azure and Kibana query language in the context of Elastic. Both are query languages used to explore and process data based on the search terms and filters. Okay, so index pattern. An index pattern is a collection of logs. This can be from a specific host or, for example, multiple hosts with a similar purpose, such as multiple web servers. In this case, the index pattern is all logs related to where valid rails. Yes, fields. This pane shows us the fields that Elasticsearch has parsed from the logs. For example, timestamp, response time, and IP address. So, I mean, each source may have different log fields available that are pushed or sent to Elasticsearch, right? Or Elasticsearch is ingesting the logs from different sources. So all of them may have different fields. So based upon the fields, these available fields section will be populated. And that's why all of these fields are available here. Some fields may have data, some may not have data for some records. So based upon the data, these fields are there. But we need, if we are doing any kind of query, we need to make sure that, okay, maybe this column may not have any data there. So choose your query accordingly, or modify your query or expectations of the data accordingly. Timeline. This visualization displays the event count over a period of time, documents logs. These entries are specific entries in the log file. Time filter, we can use this to narrow down a specific time frame. Absolute. Alternatively, we can search for logs based on the relative, for example, last 7 days. So since we are in Kibana, we are using the Elasticsearch. So the KQL is called Kibana Query Language. If it was on Azure, it must be changed to Costro. KQL or Kibana Query Language is an easy-to-use language that can be used to search documents for values. For example, querying if a value within a field exists or matches a value. If you are familiar with Splunk, you may be thinking of SPL, search processing language. For example, the query to search all documents for an IP address may look like this: IP address dot address, then colon, space, and the value that we need to match. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so we have just document here. We can include the fields as well. Let's include the field. It is going for the IP address. We don't have the IP address basically available here. Maybe in the message. Do we have IP address? I don't see. Yeah, client IP is there. Client IP is there, not the actual IP data address. Okay, let's do that. Let's see what happens here. IP, yeah, see, IP dot is not available, but client IP is available. What if we say is equal to, and the value is, for example, 10.13.27.115. So I'm putting the same value which is here. So let's see. So now we have 422 hits here. Okay, so if I remove all of this and then just update, we are back to 811 hits. Awesome. Alternate Kibana also allows using Lucene query or an advanced language that supports features such as fuzzy terms, searches for terms that are similar to one provided, regular expression, etc. For today's task, we will stick with using KQL, which has been enabled by default. The table below contains a mini cheat sheet for KQL syntax that you may find helpful in today's task. So we have query syntax, we have description and example. So these two quotation marks, the quotation marks are used to search for specific values within the document. Value in the quotation mark are used for exact match or exact search. For example, TryHackMe. So we are looking for this whole word, or tryhackme.com, or for example the would return. So if you are looking for these two in the same order and in the same form, then we need to put all of these two words inside the quotation marks. Okay, static is wildcard. The static, it's a wildcard which searches document for similar matches to the value provided. United and then static, that means anything could be there besides United. Would return United Kingdom and United States, or England, if the fuzzy term is enabled. Okay, otherwise I think the United Kingdom will give you either United Kingdom or United States, not the England. Or okay, so this logical operator is used to show document that contain either of the values provided. So if we need to search for two terms and either of them is available, just show the result. So we will use the OR operator. Okay, so this explanation is not related to this one where I use the fuzzy terms. Okay, for example, United and then this, so it may show you United Kingdom, and if you search for United Kingdom, it can show you the England results as well if the fuzzy term is, or the advanced feature is supported out of the box, or you enabled it. Okay, so I hope this is clear. And this logical operator is used to show documents that contain both values Ben and 25, or because Ben don't have any space in it, so you can go with the Ben and 25. So both of them should be there, otherwise the result will not consider any record which don't have Ben and 25. Okay, it will show only the results for where the values of Ben and 25 are there. Then we have colon itself. This is used to search the specific field of a document for a values such as an IP address. Note that the field you provide here will depend on the fields available in the index pattern. So IP.address. So if this particular field is there available, then you can search, I think. or it is there in the document itself, then you can search. If it is not there, then this particular IP data address will not show you any result, because the logging is there with a different name. For example, instead of IP data address, we had client IP here. Okay. All right. Investigating a web attack with ELK scenario. Thanks to our extensive intrusion detection capabilities, our system alerted the SOC team to a web shell being uploaded to the Ware Valley Rails booking platform on October 1st, 2024. Our task is to review the web server logs to determine how the attacker achieved this. If you would like to follow along, ensure that you have the Ware Valley Rails collection selected, like so. We have done so already. Investigate this scenario. Let's change the time filter to show events for the day of the attack, setting the start date and end time to 1st and the end time to October 2. Okay, so attack happened, I think. Now this time they're saying to go with October 2. They want to cover everything, right? So let's just change this one. So this way we covered 24 hours of October 1st. We still have 8 lemon heads. Okay. Alright. We're done so. You will see the logs have now populated with the display. Please note that the quantity of the entries in this task may differ to the amount on the practical VM. Okay, that was my first consideration, but they already explained the issue. An incredibly beneficial feature of the ELK is that we can filter out noise. A web server, especially a popular one, will likely have a large number of logs from user traffic. Completely unrelated to the attack. Using the field span on the left, we can click on plus and minus icons to the field to show only that value or to remove it from the display, respectively. Fun fact, clicking on these filter is actually just applying to relevant KQL syntax. That is true. Note in the GIF below how the logs are being filtered to only show logs contain the IP address 10.13.27.115, reducing the count from 1028 to 423 heads. We can combine filtering multiple fields in or out to drill down specifically into the logs. Okay, but what do we need to do that? Okay, so in here we have client IP and then not response to 404. Let's try one. So we are looking for this particular value. But it is not. What about type is okay? There is another way to do it. Is by adding the filter itself, client IP. Is and then the value 10.13.27.5 and save. Now this filter is applied here under the search, but it will filter all the results that are with the specific IP address. Okay, if I remove it, it will go back to the all the results. Okay, and we have 811 hits now. Okay, this is fun. Remove applied filters. Simply click on X alongside the filter just below the search bar. We have done so already. In this investigation, let's look at the activity of the IP address 10.998.230. We can click on the client IP field to see the IPs that the most values and the most values as well. Okay, so we go back. So the most values are coming from here 115, but they want to go for 10.998 and 230. Wait a moment. Okay, yeah, so we want to go with that. Just click on plus. It will add the filter for you here. We have 348 hits. Okay, we have done so. Using the timeline at the top, we can see a lot of activity from this IP address. Took place between 11:30 and 11:35. This would be a good place to begin our analysis. So they are putting request and response as well. So where is the request? Here is the request. Response as well. So we have at least these three. We have client IP, we have request, and we have response. Okay, and so as you can see, if I just narrow down 11:30 and 11, can I just go here? Okay, so once I select it, as you can see, most of the things happen from 10:30 to 11:30 to 11:35. Okay. So each log can be expanded by using the greater than icon located on the left of the log document. Fortunately, the logs are pretty small. In this instance, we can browse through them to look for anything untoward. Okay. So this is the, after some digging, we a few logs stand out. Looking at the request field, we can see that the file name shell.php. Really? I don't see any. There is this profile image. Which log they are checking here? Shell.php. Okay, but I don't find it here. Okay, let's go with another one. So let's go with request, and we are looking for we can go with for example, we don't have any other one. Okay, let's go with static shell static. Okay, we don't have anything here. not able to profile shell.php. How they put it? With a few parameters C and D containing command, they are likely to be commands input into the sum of form of web shell. Okay, but how did you find it? Okay, message is equal to shell.php. Okay, so for us, okay, we need to add message as well, so we get full logs. So here is the message. I don't have it. I don't have it. Okay, we can do one thing. Let me change it back to, for example, here. And change it to here. Shell.php. Message shell.php. Yeah, this is what I'm searching, the same thing. But yeah, we don't have any client IP filter. That's why. Okay, here we go. We have 11 hits and it was on 11:30. Shell.php. So we have a lot of requests. At least for this request, the response is 200. That means it was successful. And it was just a get request. Do we have verb? Yeah, let's add verb as well, so we get to know if there is any post request here. So all of them are get requests. Okay, yeah, we found it. Operation red. In this section, we will now take a look at the red aspect, in other words, the attack itself and how it was carried out. Why do websites allow file uploads? How did they know? Because all of them are get, and get does not post the file. Post itself will post the file, yes. If you know about the HTTP verbs. I don't know what they are doing here because I don't see any post request here. Okay, let's continue. Why do websites allow file uploads? File uploads are everywhere on the websites, and for good reason. Users often need to upload files like profile pictures, invoices, and other documents to update their accounts and send receipts and submit claims. These features make the user experience smoother and more efficient. But while this is convenient, it also creates a risk if the file uploads are not handled properly. If not properly secured, this feature can open up vulnerabilities, various vulnerabilities attackers can exploit. File upload vulnerabilities. File upload vulnerabilities occur when a website does not properly handle the files that users upload. If the site does not check what kind of file is being uploaded, how big it is, and what it contains, it opens the door to all sort of attacks. For example, remote code execution. Uploading a script that the server runs gives the attacker control over it. XSS uploading a HTML file that contains an XSS code which will steal a cookie and send it back to the attacker server. So this is very true. or both of these. So in order to check for the files, so limit the number of extensions that one can upload on the client side, and also check the extension on the server side as well before you do anything. And also you can also use some kind of scanning solution which will just take the file and just scan it before you can save it anywhere in your system. Okay, so this could be possible ways to avoid the file upload vulnerabilities. This can happen if the site does not properly secure its file upload functionality. Why unrestricted file upload are dangerous? Unrestricted file uploads can be particularly dangerous because they allow an attacker to upload any type of file. If the file's contents are not properly validated to ensure only a specific format like PNG or JPG are accepted, an attacker could upload a malicious script such as a PHP file or an executable file that the server might process and run. This can lead to code execution on the server, allowing attackers to take over the system. Example of abuse through unrestricted file upload include upload a script that the server execute, leading to RCE, uploading a crafted image file that triggers an vulnerability when processed by the server, uploading a web shell and browsing to it directly and using a browser. Okay. Usage of weak credential. One of the easiest way for attacker to break into system is through weak or default credentials. This can be an open door for attackers to gain unauthorized access. Default credentials are often found in systems where administrators fail to change initial login details provided during setup. For attackers, trying a few common username and password can lead to easy access. So the one way to prevent or avoid this particular weak credential vulnerability is to add multi-factor authentication. Okay, so beside the password itself, you need to have a token. It could be an OTP, it could be face recognition, or any other form of authentication. So at least two authentications should be there to perform any kind of operation that will change the status or state of your website. Okay, so for example, you are logging in, that means it is changing the state of your website to be user specific screens or dashboard or something like that once user will log in. So in this case, you need to add username password at least, and then on top of it you need to add multi-factor authentication or two-factor authentication at least in order to secure. Even though your password is weak, the second layer of protection should be there. Okay, so the best practice is to have a strong credential with multi-factor authentication. Below are some examples of weak default credentials that attacker might use: admin, administrator, admin at domain name, admin, and guest. Attacker can use tools or try these common credentials manually, which is often all it takes to break into the system. Not that often. Even though you do a brute force attack, and if the system is using some kind of captcha, and in addition to the captcha, if system is using multi-factor authentication, then you have very few choices to automate this attack. Okay, and manually I am not sure if somebody nowadays can do manual credentials attack on a specific system to break the system itself. So most of the time it is automated. Even in the emulation or exams that we do, there is no chance of doing manual credential because you don't have time to do some kind of brute force attack using your credentials manually. You need to have some kind of automated way, right? What is remote code execution, RCE? This is very important. Remote code execution happens when an attacker finds a way to run their own code on a system. So what happens, for example, you can read some kind of file, maybe you can read a file which is related to a dashboard of an admin user. For example, the file is in admin directory and the file name is index.php. Okay, so in order to see what is basically going on, you can read the file itself using the RCE, and then basically because you have now the source code of the file, you can it can help you devise an attack on the admin pages. Okay, this is one of the use cases I'm telling. There are multiple use cases that you can think of. Once you have RCE, basically you are as secure as the user which is running your source code. So if the user have root level privileges, that means your whole system will be compromised. If the user or the service account which is running your source code don't have enough permissions or privileges to do all of this, even though after remote code execution people will not go very far. Okay, but if there is a chance that the remote code execution can lead to other the privilege escalation or something like that, and from privilege escalation, if they have root access, they can upload a lot of other files, and they can also pivot from your one server to another server in the network. So all of this start with the remote code execution. Okay, so it's really important that we block remote code execution or put some measurement or some kind of solutions that can either alert us or prevent it altogether. So we have IDS or IPS for this. So IDS is to detect only and IPS is to prevent and detect. This is a highly dangerous vulnerability because it can allow the attacker to take control of the system, exfiltrate sensitive data if data is available, or compromise other connected systems. Okay, so they are saying that okay, so this is the key. We don't know which key will fit and open the door, so we are using all of the keys that are available, for example Frosty, Pine, Sortal, and whatnot. What is a web shell? Web shell is a script that attackers upload to a vulnerable server, giving them remote control over it. So web shell basically is, for example, instead of reverse shell, you can just upload a source code or some kind of file, and the terminal will be available directly inside the browser itself. So this is what we call web shell. So you can issue the commands directly in your browser. Once the web shell is in place, attacker can run commands, manipulate files, and essentially use the compromised server as their own. They can even use it to launch attacks on other systems. That is very true. For example, attackers could use a web shell to execute commands on the server, move laterally or horizontally within the network, and download sensitive data or pivot to other services. Okay. A web shell typically gives the attacker a web-based interface to run commands. Still, in some cases, the attacker may use a reverse shell to establish a direct connection back to their system, allowing them to control the compromised machine remotely. Once an attacker has this level of access, they might attempt privilege escalation to gain even more control, such as achieving root access or moving deeper into the network. Okay, now that we are familiar with the remote code execution vulnerability and how it works, let's take a look at how we could exploit it. Practice makes perfect. Okay, understand how a file upload vulnerability can result in an RCE. The best approach is to get some hands-on experience with it. A handy and ethical way to do this is to find and download a reputable open source web application which has this vulnerability built in. Many open source projects exist in place like GitHub, which can be run in your own environment to experiment and practice. In today's task, we will demonstrate achieving RCE via unrestricted file upload within an open source railway management system. that has this vulnerability built in. Let's see what they are talking about. Okay, so this is a CVE write-up for CYB84. So this is from Raj Nandi's GitHub repo. So we have screenshot here, and the exact code is here, which is the. So this is the system, and these are all the steps that are available to do. So this is the web shell, web.php, and we can do anything. We execute the dir execute, and all of the information is presented back to us. Awesome, man. Exploiting the RCE via file upload. We are going to go through how this vulnerability can be exploited. For now, you can just read along, but an opportunity to put this knowledge into practice is coming up. Once an RCE vulnerability has been identified that can be exploited via file upload, we now need to create a malicious file that will allow remote code execution when uploaded. Below is an example PHP file which could be uploaded to exploit this vulnerability. Using your favorite text editor, copy and paste the below code and save it as a shell PHP. Sure. So let's open up. Do we have nano here? And shell.php. So let me paste here, and Control O, enter, Control X to exit, and let's see if the file is created. Yes, file is created, and we can see here. Let me zoom in a little. Okay, so file is there. All right, so this is basically a shell created, a web shell created in the PHP. All right, the above script when accessed displays an input field. Whatever is entered in this input field is then run against the underlying operating system using the system command. Okay, a PHP function, and the output is displayed to the user. This is the perfect file to upload to the vulnerable Rail system reservation application. The vulnerability is surrounding the upload of a new profile image. So to exploit it, we navigate to the profile picture page. We don't have this application. Okay. So they are going to the profile and upload here. Instead of a new profile picture, we can upload our malicious PHP script and update a profile. So we have done so here. So in this case, this application, the RCE possible through unrestricted file upload. Once this profile picture is uploaded and uploaded and updated, it is stored in the admin assets image and profile directory. The file can then be accessed directly via some IP address here, which is localhost project name admin assets image profile and shell.php. Then this is access. We can then see the malicious code in action. Awesome. Now we can run commands directly against the operating system using this bar, and the output will be displayed. For example, running the command pwd will show you the current working directory. Now returns the following. So opt lamp ht docs orrs -php admin assets image and profile. Making the most of it. Once the vulnerability has been exploited and you can now access to the operating system via web shell, there are many next steps you could take depending on what your goal is, and b what configurations are present on this system, which will determine exactly what we can do. Here are some examples of commands you could run once you have gained access and why you might run them. If the system is running on a Linux OS, like our example target system, then we have these kind of commands here. Okay. Okay. So we have ls will give you an idea of what files directories surround you. Cat, a command used to output the contents of the document such as text files. Pwd will give you an idea of where the system where you are in the system. Who am I will let you know who you are in the system. I'm in the username and host username. Host name, the system name, and potentially its role in the network. Uname -a, it will give you some system information like the OS, kernel version, and more. ID, if the current user is assigned to any groups. If config allows you to understand the system's network setup. Bash -i and dev.tcp, your IP address port, and then it will go to a null, I think. Null pointer or something. A command used to begin a reverse shell via bash nc-e bin sh and your IP address and then port. This should be colon, I think. A command used to begin a reverse shell via netcat find and then the prim 400 type f2 and the dev and then the null find suid set user id files. Useful in previous escalation attempts as it can sometimes be leveraged to execute binary with privilege of its owner, which is often root. Find then writable type f2 and then directing the output to this dev null, and then we are trying to grep with the verbose a process proc directory. Also helpful in previous escalation attempt used to find files with the writable permissions. Okay. These are just some commands that can be run following a successful RCE exploit. It's very open-ended, and what you can do will rely on your abilities to inspect an environment and vulnerabilities in the system itself. Practical. Your task today is twofold. First, you must access the Cabana to investigate the attacker and answer the blue question below, and then you will proceed to Frosty Pines resource website and recreate the attack to answer the red questions and inform the developers what elements of the website was vulnerable. Please note that to access frostypine.thm, you will need to reference it within your host file like this. Let's do that. 10.3.5.29. Wait a moment. I just want to confirm what is the 5.2.48. Yeah, so this is the file we need to do. So it is very simple. Let's go to your attack box, open a terminal, paste here. It will take care of it. So if we need to see it appended the information or not, just cat etc host, and you can see that it is appended here. Okay, now we can access this particular website directly here. Okay, we have the website. All right. If you do not see an IP address and the only machine IP, ensure that you have started the target machine by pressing the green start machine button. Further up the task within the heading. Connect to the machine to review the logs of an attacker on the Frosty Pine resorts. Make sure you select the Frosty Pine resorts collection within the ELK such as below. Okay, let's do that. So Frosty Pines. The date and time you need to use is between 11:30 and 12 on October 3rd. So October 3rd. 11:30. Okay, here we go. Okay, we have shell already. Shell.php, ROMs, images, whatnot. Okay. Remember to access the Frosty Pines resorts website. You will need to reference it in your host files. On attack box, this can be done by executing the following command. We have done so already. Blue, where was the shell? Where was the web shell uploaded to? Answer the format directory itself. Okay. So the shell is available in here. Hopefully. Unless correct. What IP address accessed the web shell? So it should be a get request. Get request. The IP address is this one. 10. Hopefully. No hint. Filter the IP address IP values in the ELK to determine their activity, and only one of them is malicious. Okay. So we have client IP and exists 13 records. So I tried already. So let's go with this one. Awesome. Right, what is the content of the flag.txt? Okay, so I'm still stuck on the last one. So what I'm trying to do is just revise what we have here. So the main thing is we are going to the admin portal somehow, right? So if we log in, see, if I have created my own account here. Okay, so if we need to go to the admin account, that means we need to put some admin credentials here. Let's go with admin. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, so the email address is not right? So we have admin and then the domain itself. So let's try this. So this is and remove the HTTP because this is not the domain. So admin and password is admin as well. Let's see. Yeah, we are logged in now. So let's go to the account. We still don't see anything here, right? So we cannot upload our avatar. What about this? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, so we have add new room here, reservation and users. Let's wait. So we have admin on add Gmail as well, and this is verified and it is admin. Obviously we can change it. We have reservations. It does not have anything. We have rooms and we have add new room. Okay, let's go with the room. Can we update any of this? Let's go with this one and browse, and let's upload our file that we had created, maybe on the desktop. Where did we created our file? AWD, so it is in the root folder. Root. Here I should have all the files. is I'm in the root and there is a shell. So if I go back root, all the files, why it is not available here? Okay, let's go with let's move over file somewhere. So this download folder is over here, so let's move over shell.php to downloads. Okay, here we go. Shell.php is available here. If we open it, and do we have any save button? Click on edit room. So it is successful, so the image is gone. So if I go to the same path which was discovered here, or we can copy it from here. There we go. It was, yeah, shell. I remember now. Shell.php, it's still not available. Paste. This is what we were looking for. Shell.php. This is what we uploaded, right? Shell.php, yes. So why it is not working? Let's create a new one maybe, and just upload the file shell.php, open, add room, and this is the new room that we just added. Let's try with shell.php. Here we go. Okay, so it will work only if you create a new room, right? So let's execute the ls, and this is what we are looking for, flag.txt. So cat flag.txt, and here we go. So this is what we were looking for. Copy, paste, and we are done. If you like today's task, you can learn how to harness the power of advanced ELK queries. We don't want to do that. We just want to complete the room. So once you click on complete, you have completed one day 3 room. Although we struggled a lot, we were considering that maybe the shell is already there. We just don't need to upload it. But since we have all the information available here, we needed to go to the admin portal, and we get that from here, that we need to go to some admin portal here, and in order to do that, we considered the username and password of the admin that was available in the material itself. We tried this one and it just worked. And after that, we uploaded our file. We tried to upload through the edit, but it did not work. We tried to upload it through our new room, so it works, and we were able to get the flag here. So thank you guys for joining me on this journey. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please also subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any comments or suggestions, please put it in the comment section down below, and I promise to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.